You serious?
There are plenty of ways to kill an hour. Right now, you're killing one with us. I'm Marcus Bronzy. How you doing? So, we spoke about an invention called a couch coaster in a previous episode. Myself and Nick Bright discussed how it solved a problem that we've all experienced, which is spilled drinks when you try and balance them on the arm of your couch. We've all experienced it, let's be honest, at one point or another. He's made something that can solve that called the couch coaster. We gave it a review in a previous episode of How to Kill an Hour, and I had a chance to speak to the guy that invented it. So I thought, hey, why not? Tell us a bit about yourself, mate.
Okay, cool. So my name is Barry Frieda. I'm from London, UK, and I'm the inventor of Couch Coaster, the ultimate drink holder for your sofa, which I launched into UK retail earlier this year. It's been quite a success. It subsequently launched in Japan and the USA. And I'm on the show today to share with Marcus a little bit about my journey.
Yeah, I mean, first things first, how did you have that eureka moment when you're like, I need to make this couch coaster? Because we'll get onto what it actually does, but was there a moment, or should we say, was there a spillage?
Yeah, it was kind of a bit of a sort of cheesy moment of chilling out on the sofa, flicking on Match of the Day on Saturday night with a bottle of beer. And in that particular living room I was in at the time, there was a coffee table, but it was sort of tucked away over by the bay window, and there wasn't an obvious place to put my drink down. And it just occurred to me, there must be millions of other people in their homes with the same kind of predicament. And there didn't seem to be an obvious solution. People would be balancing drinks on their sofa arm, they'd be popping them down on the floor, or just holding them in their hands. And so it seemed an obvious product to actually bring to market, this device that would just rest over the arm of the sofa and support a drink.
And it's one of those things where you're like, oh my gosh, why did I not have something to stop me? Why did I not have something like this before? I mean, how would you describe the production process for this holder, for this couch coaster?
Yeah, sure. So you need to rewind 6 years ago, actually. I was living with an ex-girlfriend at the time, and I've always been somebody that goes off and makes things if I can't buy what I think I need. And so I think the first prototype for Couch Coaster was actually made out of a Domino's pizza box. It was like proper old school. And then I sort of moved on to making one more in the style of a bean bag that kind of, just flops itself over the arm of the sofa. Yeah. And then following on from that, I actually began to watch a few videos on YouTube, and I was learning about making a silicone mold. Right. Which actually isn't that complicated. It's bloody messy. I wouldn't recommend anyone mixes up plaster indoors, but I did. And it was quite an amazing moment, actually, when the first silicone prototype came out of this mold, and you could really then begin to see that this can actually be like a really useful consumer product.
Yeah, and have you had much experience with silicone before, working with the silicone, or are you someone who's pretty much hands-on with stuff?
Yeah, so even from when I was a young kid, I was like building, contraptions in my bedroom and all sorts of things, whatever mum and dad were throwing away, you can be sure enough that I was, making something out of that box of Kellogg's cornflakes or whatever. So although I'd never, prototyped or ever used silicone before, it was literally a case of, watching those videos, going to a local art shop and buying, part A, part B, which you mix together in a kind of liquid form, and just seeing, what the result was. But silicone seemed to be a really obvious choice of material just because I needed the product to flex over different shapes and sizes of sofa arm. Yeah,
and that leads me on, because the first thing I think of when I think of conventional coasters is, one, they're not as secure as yours, but two, there's certain other issues that need to be resolved. It's not just a coaster stopping you from damaging upholstery by spilling a drink on it. There's certain situations, like if you have this couch coaster, which is kind of like a saddle for the arm of your couch, which hangs over the sides. How do you stop it slipping off? What preventative measures have you made?
Yeah, so, I mean, beyond the prototypes that I made myself by hand, I then spent 12 months working with a commercial designer in the UK, like really thinking a lot harder about how do we make this product really versatile, but also secure, on the sofa arm, as you're alluding to. And the answer to that is partly due to the material that we chose. Silicone by nature has quite a tacky feel to it. And so it's got a natural adhesion onto, leather and fabric sofa arms. But also, one of the key ingredients is that we made the product weighty. So we actually built weights that are completely concealed inside either end of the band, or the saddle, as you called it, that wraps over the sofa arm. So it just means that it sits really stably under its own gravity.
Love it. I love it. And so that's how you solve the issue of it slipping off, the silicone texture and also the weight.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay, and what about the other issue, which is not all cups are the same size? How have you come around that?
Yeah, so when I set the brief for my designer, I was probably a real awkward client when I gave the guy the brief, because I knew that I wanted it to be super versatile and a one-size-fits-all solution. So I said to him, this needs to work on most of the sofa arms out there, and it needs to work for most of the drinks that people are going to be, relaxing with on a sofa.
Yeah.
So I then started to look at, all the possible shapes and sizes of drinks that people might be using, from mugs to whiskey tumblers to bottles and cans. And those 4 categories I've just mentioned are the ones that Couch Coaster can really work well for. And one of the important things that we made to achieve that is this adapter piece that literally just pops in and out of the main container, so it can actually change the opening of where the drink sits inside.
Awesome. And I love that. And also, one of the things I like about it is that you've made a little adjustment as well for the handle of the mug as well. What a nice touch.
Yeah.
What a nice touch.
Of course, yeah. So integrated into that container, as you said, that there's the all-important mug handle slot. So that allows it to just pop through. You can grab that handle just in the right place.
Wicked. I love it. Before I let you go though, Barry, because your product's amazing. I absolutely love it. Where can we go and check out more of the Couch Coaster, the ultimate drinks holding device?
Yeah, so if anyone's actually interested in buying one of these things, you can go to couchcoaster.com and you can buy one. It's currently available in 5 colours. Yeah. I launched it in black, brown, grey and red, and then I actually added cream to the range afterwards. So, it makes a really nice gift for somebody. People are just sort of buying it for themselves, to be honest, though. Yeah. Some people are buying a couple because, they want one for each arm.
Yeah.
And, the other thing, just to mention as well about it, Marcus, is when I was designing this, because it's going on people's sofas, I was really conscious about it looking good and actually being like this really slick gadget that people are proud to put on their sofa, not something they want to hide away when guests are coming over.
Yeah.
And if people go to couchcoaster.com, they'll see all of the visuals for the product, and hopefully they'll agree themselves that it is a great looking product.
Wicked. Yeah, check it out, man. And what's your favourite drink at the moment you like to put in your Couch Coaster? What's regularly living in your Couch Coaster at home?
To be honest, it's probably a cup of tea. It's probably a cup of tea. Oh, the other thing just to mention as well, it's $19.99 on the website. Didn't mention that. $19.99
English pounds. And for our American listeners, how does that translate? Are we distributed over there?
So any American listeners out there, they can go to www.thegrommet.com/Couch Coaster and they can buy for $19.95 out in the States.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Barry. And thank you for the Couch Coaster. You seem like the sort of guy, you're not stopping here. Have you got other inventions in the pipeline? Are we going to be hearing more about Barry Frieda? Are you going to be saving us from other things that we didn't know we could be saved from?
Yeah, so I'm really one of those guys that is quite nonconformist, and I've always come up with sort of lots of different ideas. When I stumbled upon Couch Coaster with that, eureka moment, I knew that it had that potential to be a mass market product. But definitely, I've set up a company called Hit Products, and there's definitely going to be some other products that come out under that umbrella company that are going to be kind of, problem solution type products. So just when you're like, you've got that niggling moment about something, you wish you had that product, that's the type of product company that I want to eventually become.
And that's exactly the kind of person that we like to catch up with here on How to Kill an Hour. That was a little bonus episode of us talking to Barry Frieda, the man behind the Couch Coaster. I've been Marcus Bronzy. Got some more ways to kill an hour coming up for you very soon. There's plenty of ways to kill an hour out there. Thank you for killing one with me, or at least a bit of one. Cheers.